Hello and welcome to Star Wars Saturdays. Star Wars Saturdays is a living campaign that I've been running for the Gauntlet community for a year and a half now, every Saturday or nearly every Saturday. June was a rough month because of moving, but I'm back on track here in July 2019. Every Saturday, I gather together with friends from the Gauntlet community and we play a game set in Star Wars. But every month, sometimes twice a month, I will switch up to different game systems. This is the first of two sessions of what I'm calling Hack in the Black, which is a couple of different flavors of space and space opera versions or hacks of the Black Hack. The Black Hack was originally created by David Black, and it is in its second edition, and it's a player-facing roles light OSR-ish system inspired by the original D&D. And then there are two folks who have created Hack Wars and the Space Hack, both of which I found interesting for different iterations and flavors. And that's what we're using to tell our story today and next week. So I called it Hack in the Black because it's like a hack of two hacks. I got your hack. I heard you like hacks, so I stuck a hack in your hack, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is Star Wars. The time setting is Return of the Jedi, the third of the original trilogy. We are moments before the giant fight that happens on the second Death Star. And these guys are going to be off in the Outer Rim doing missions for the Alliance to restore the Republic. Now, the other piece of this is that I'm using some information from the Star Wars D6 game from West End Games as inspiration and jump off points. There's the classic campaigns book, which had some old stuff about Lenz and Mika Reekeene and Reekeene's Roughnecks. And I realized as I was playing around with this thing from the 90s that like the Roughnecks are probably an allusion to Starship Troopers, and which is pretty funny to me, because, you know, Roughnecks. But anyway, that was just a neat thing that was bubbling in my brain. Before I start to introduce players and characters, I do want to remind you guys that we do have safety tools at your disposal. And the main safety tool that I like is the X card. The X card is very simple to use. If you want to deploy or utilize the X card, all you have to do is you can say here, you can mention out loud, hey, I need the X card so-and-so. You can do it in the chat in our little Jitsi Meet thing that's going on, or on the Roll for Your Party. There's an X card button under the safety tools little drop-downy deal. It's black with white background, or I think a red font. You click on that, and then everyone will get that pop-up notification. Lots of different ways. Any one of them is perfectly fine, whichever is quickest, easiest for you to use. X card is important because it allows us to kind of play the game with best intentions. I think of this as like a PG to PG-13 game. Personally, there's death on the line because it's Star Wars, but it's also Star Wars, so I'm not gonna have any gratuitous sex and okay, there'll probably be gratuitous violence. I mean, we do have arm chopping, that's a thing, but in slavery, that's another thing. But yeah, we're probably not going to see any boobs. That's basically it. I mean, we're Americans, so all the violence we want, but no nakedness. That's us Americans. We're deplorable that way in our facetiousness. But if we hit a point where you're like, ooh, that makes me super uncomfortable, I am not having a good time, or I don't want to be here, anything along those lines, before you reach that point, just X card. We're going to stop the game. I'll ask you politely, hey, just X card, what was the subject material in question? I may know what it is right off the top of my head, but I may not. I've been X-carded over the use of teeth, so I don't judge. And the thing is, I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to challenge you on it. I'm not going to try to talk you out of it. Whatever it is that you've X-carded, it's off the table. And I think the X card is the thing that we use that as a tool to excise it from our play. We have 4 of us here. We will create some other way to make that happen. It could be from thing that happens to person shot with blaster to threat that's on the table. We can adjust that. We can tweak it. We can rewind it, and then we can play forward a different way. It's totally cool. And then the last thing I'll say about X card that I always put in when I talk about the X card, because I went through it myself, is if we start to roll into some subject material that feels a little sketchy to you, but you're like, I'm okay. I think I can roll with this. And then as we continue to play, you're like, okay, wow, I am super regretting letting this roll forward. This totally sucks. You can still X card. I'm not going to go, but dude, we had teeth in the earlier thing and that was no big thing. I totally accept it. Example that isn't me, but person, we used a name for an NPC, and like, oh, that's the name of my so-and-so, but it's fine. And we kept going. And then all of a sudden turns out that NPC was like, used car salesman, slimy, not really cool. And the player was like, I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were going to do this. I need to X card that name. And there's no problem. Renamed the NPC, moved right along. Didn't take us but a few seconds, and that person was able to ease back. And I like the X card not just for its use, but to know it's there, right? To understand that is a tool at our disposal so that we can just proceed forward. Like, I'm going to go forward with the best intention of trying to have an entertaining game with you guys. And I don't want to worry that, ooh, that was kind of weird. I know you'll X card me. I want you to X card me, because sometimes we go fanciful places, and those places are different based on your lived experience. So that's me in X card. I'm sorry it took up a while. Hopefully, I know you guys have all heard the spiel, but I like to give it as a reminder and keep myself in practice. So we are going to introduce players and player characters. Then I'm going to ask a few questions to understand why it is that you're a member of Reekene's Roughnecks, at least for now. Then we're going to jump into some action. So let's start with Greg. Greg, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Hi, I'm Greg, he, him pronouns. I will be playing and reprising Zop Books, who is a Rhodian bounty hunter. Now, I was actually thinking back in this, Rich, I'm a little foggy on the timeline for the Impulse Drive game. When did that occur?
If I remember correctly, I think that was Empire timeline. Yeah, so it's probably
so it's actually not that long ago. Zop was originally attached with some people who were kind of joining the rebellion, or sort of got there in their own way. Has fallen in love with a Jedi who is now, of course, not on the scene. What happened? So yeah, him and his Jedi lover are split. And he loves Rhodian opera. That's a feature of Zop. He likes to. I'm going to keep Zop sleeping in the engineering, which probably causes Lobar all kinds of issues. And he likes to listen to Rhodian opera really loudly. In a meta way, I like to imagine that the Rhodian operas mirror like the actual Star Wars films, and they're about old Rhodian heroes who harness magical powers to fight the evil. I think that's Zop. He's got a cool spacesuit that does cool things. That's something new to this system.
Very cool. I love Zop. And I just pulled up the old Impulse Drive. That was back in December of last year. That's very cool. Thank you so much. And then Tom, new to Star Wars Saturdays? I don't think we've played Star Wars Saturdays before, have we?
We did the one shot, I think. Was it a one shot or two shot with but I don't think it was Star Wars Saturday. It was just Star Wars themed. It was
okay. Cool.
It was
cool.
Star Wars 1%ers. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Swoop Gang, Karkia. Awesome. Well, fantastic. Yes, that is definitely a Star Warsy thing. Welcome. So how are you doing? And so it's like evening for you, right?
Yeah, it's currently 11:30 p.m. Yeah.
Wow. Holy crap, you are a night owl. I would be sleeping.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for making that sacrifice so that we can enjoy your presence here. Tell us a little bit about your character.
So my name is Tom. He's he him pronouns, and Lobar would also use he him pronouns. Lobar is Wookiee. He's very strong. He's reasonably smart. He's not very anything else, to be honest. But at the same time, yeah, I imagine he's just really he's the engineer of the team, basically because it's the only real thing that he can contribute to the ship, being the muscle. And so when they're not actually in the skies, that's what they need him for.
I'm curious. So why did Lobar join the rebellion?
I mean, I don't think there's any real like tragic backstory for Lobar. I think he just likes a good fight, and he's certainly not going to join the Empire.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
He just joined up. And hey, you're fighting with a good fight. That is totally great.
Yeah, it seemed like the right thing to do.
So has he dealt with, and I just asked this because this is one of those things that I think of in the Wookiee history. Has he dealt with any of his fellow Wookiees being enslaved, or is that something he's been lucky enough to avoid but is aware of in the universe?
He's certainly aware of it in the universe, 100%. I think he probably... he's just been really... I think he's just been able to avoid it, I think. I don't think that he's known anyone there, but he's obviously aware of it as a problem, that they're subject to this persecution. I don't know if... I don't think that's the case, no. I don't think there's a real quest or like personal drive in that sense that he's really striving for. I just think he's principled. I think he's a bit more like a like he's got this sort of story of what he would like to be in his head, and he's trying to live up to that.
That is really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Cool.
The Rhodian operas are wearing off on you.
That's it. It's totally Rhodian operas that are happening in your engine room all the time. Cool. And then we have Walter. How are you doing this morning, Walter?
I'm good. And I'm bringing back Grip Pulsar, who I just played last week. So excited about that. This is a less action figure-y version of Grip Pulsar, a more real-life flesh and blood. But I think he's still got, actually, the stats end up being the same. I just was remembering the things that Pulsar did last week. And he was, other than being an awesome pilot, he like hacked this computer system was like one of the main things. And it turns out he's got the intelligence and he's got this like advantage when performing tech use or communications checks. So the character actually lines up. It's pretty awesome, even though I had to roll these stats randomly.
I know. Yeah, boy, you rolled some not awesome stats too. It's so cool. He's plucky. He's got
Grip, yeah. Oh yeah, Grip Pulsar is on the scene. So I don't remember when the timeline for last session's game, we were invading a base on Hoth to get a data crystal that Vader of all people wanted to keep the rebellion from getting their hands on. That's pretty close to the same timeline? Maybe that just happened a little while ago.
I would love it if it just happened because
was reassigned to the Reekeene.
That's awesome. So he's like fresh off his successful mission. That is really cool.
Yeah, maybe there's a little sign following him from that. People are still telling stories about this mission to Hoth, evading a mob of bounty hunters were after us, and it came down after blasting our way through and a bunch of wampas and everything. There was a bit of a spaceship chase at the last, and we finally overcame. Very exciting stuff.
So, just a quick question there, Grip. You have a bounty on your head?
No. The Empire had sent a gang of bounty hunters to Hoth to seize this data crystal, and Mon Mothma sent some of us down there before. to get it away from them, which we did. I actually ended up we ended up blasting a few bounty hunters in the process. Sorry to say, but well, we don't emphasize that part of the story.
I'll be checking the info nets.
Yeah, you might. Some of your colleagues might be silent.
And just so we're clear, this was the animated interpretation of Grip's mission. So
Yes.
there could be some factual inaccuracies, such as the fact that in the animated version, they fought against Dengar, who, as we all know, Dengar's dead. It has been dead since like one of the 1%er swoop game games. But this animated adventures, you definitely succeeded in the mission. You did thwart bounty hunters. All of that is true, but the names have been changed to be a little more salacious. That's all. The people, they could animate more easily because they had more info crystals on Dengar the bounty hunter and stuff like that. But yeah, all the stuff you guys did, you were very successful. You're still lauded, but the facts may seem a little wonky for somebody. It's like, wait. It's like, dude, it was a cartoon, and Grip's still a hero. Just let it go. Look at his medals.
Yeah, there's even talking making an action figure line for him.
Yes, absolutely.
In an alternate universe that watches this universe on TV.
Why combat? Why would you not animate? It's the best entertainment in all the Holonet. It's the rebellion and their struggle and the animated versions of those, because that's a thing that you do. I gotta ask though, the real Grip, our actual Grip that's here, why did you join the rebellion?
Well, Grip was from one of the more like outer rim sectors that the Empire was trying to increase its stranglehold on, and Grip grew up knowing what a little bit of freedom was like, and as the Empire was squeezing that iron fist, Grip was just like, no, this isn't going to do. And so Grip was a brilliant pilot, but he decided that he had to turn his skills to help the rebellion and fight against this horrible empire.
Nice. I love it. So now we know a little bit about you guys, just a little bit of background information for anybody that might be watching. They are all part of the crew of a ship that was once a luxury starship that has been captured by the rebellion and retrofitted. So on the outside, it looks like this slightly older luxury starship. Kind of imagine like somebody's got a Rolls Royce from, say, the 70s and 80s. So you're like, oh, that's a really nice, classic, expensive ride. That's what the long shot appears to be. But on the inside, they've taken out a lot of the creature comforts, as it were, stuck in a med bay, put in retrofitted to beef up the turbo laser turret so that it's actually got a little bit more of a punch, increase the hyperdrives, added actually a third engine to it, stuck in a machine shop. So there's a whole lot of retrofitting that's happened here over the course of a few years. Yes.
Can I add a little
yes,
medley cutaway shots of kind of like this A-team batch of irregulars taking basically like a space limousine and retrofitting it with armor and guns and stuff. Dun, dun, dun,
yes.
dun,
We have
dun,
Lobar carrying a hyperspace drive, slapping it down. Yeah, so the Grip's like, no, and then he's got a bolted on. I think Zop's just hanging back, listening to opera and smoking some kind of death stick, because I don't think he really gets his hands dirty with such things. Could mess up the bounty armor. Yes, that is great. Thank you for the medley that explains the thing that I just keep talking about. So yay, you saved me. We have a few NPCs who are members of the crew. Your captain is an Athorian. His name is Ixthimus. Ixthimus is stern, intelligent, and capable, and has no sense of humor whatsoever. He's very dedicated to the rebellion, but he disapproves of what he calls human frivolousness and decadence. He doesn't like lying. He does recognize this necessity. He just doesn't do it himself. So, he's the captain who's in the background, but when you guys do any of your duplicitous missions, he kind of hangs back and looks the other way with his big authorian eyes on his hammerhead face. And then your co-pilot to grip, as well as occasionally a mechanic, is Sin Sin, who is a Celestin. He does all the lying that's necessary if you guys don't pick it up. He and Truth are, not the best of friends. He's quite a con artist, and because he's gone through several years of forced labor in an Imperial work camp and aboard a warship, he is definitely a big friend of the rebellion. The last two members of the crew, if you call them such, because they're just droids, is 41B, the surgical droid, who is very, very knowledgeable about Rhodian opera, and tries to use that as a bargaining chip to keep from being stuck back in the closet whenever he's not needed and switched off. And then we have R2VO, who is a very effective astromech droid, but is the loudest droid you've ever known. He's been disassembled 52 times in an attempt to correct an unusual flaw. Whenever he's working or anytime he's activated, he beeps, whistles, and hums a continuous stream of nonsense. So if you speak binary, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's a bunch of disconnected words that are strung together. And Sin is pretty sure that it's some kind of sound actuator problem, but he just hasn't found the right part. I mean, he always says, the VOs were a little tricky and twitchy, but at this point, you guys haven't been able to fix this astromech droid, and you don't have the funds to replace it. So that's R2VO, and that is your crew. As we begin, you guys are on the planet known as Eriadu, Eriadu. Eriadu is in the Outer Rim and is one of the most active trade centers. It sits on the intersection of several hyperspace trade routes, the Rima trade route, the Hydian Way, and the Lipsic Run, as well as the Yankirk route. That means it is a nexus point and extremely wealthy and profitable. Eriadu, while it has a brisk amount of trade, that means it's extremely cosmopolitan, and it set itself up to be, well, the Star Wars term for it, or a lot of the locals call it the Zeltron, the Zeltros of the Outer Rim. So this is kind of the Las Vegas of the Outer Rim. Lots of ritzy stuff going on, all kinds of credits flowing, tons of casinos, entertainment areas. It is a great place to kick back. And you guys, maybe mostly by Grip's success and coming back to the fore, you guys are currently on a furlough that's scheduled to end very soon. You've had a little bit of time to yourselves. Things are not going well across the galaxy, but the Rebellion, or the Alliance to Restore the Republic, understands that sometimes you must reward those who are doing very well. And so that's why you guys have gotten a little bit of furlough, not much of a stipend to do it with. So I am curious, Lobar, what have you been doing here on Eriadu to spend your time and try to relax away from the grind of the Space Wars?
So I think Lobar's a very serious sort of character. He's not one for I forget the term. There's a word I'm looking for, and I can't quite find it. He's not one for frivolity. He's very, very much about the work. So what you'll see him doing is you'll probably see him going through any junk suppliers or places looking for good deals on spare parts, on any interesting bits and pieces that can come in through that could go onto the ship to bolster their defenses.
Ooh, nice.
Sort of thing.
We have maybe a scene of him down in the area where they smelt down some old tech, and he's arguing with a few Ugnaughts trying to get some pieces. I love it. That's really cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. And then what about Zop? What have you been doing on the pleasure world of Eriadu?
So Zop, it does work for the Rebel Alliance, but you know they don't pay a whole lot. So Zop is, of course, searching the hollow nets for any possible bounties that might be, you know, along the way, and is especially interested in if Grip currently holds a bounty for real.
Nice. Cool. So let's have you searching through the database. We're going to have first roll on the table, as it were. Have you roll a intelligence, because in hack wars, intelligence is how we do tech rolls.
That's a 14, which is not underneath my 9.
Yep, so it's a roll under system on a D20, not a D12, Rich. And so you fail. You are unable. Oh man, I'm not yes butting because this is binary. You do not find any information on Grip in the bounty system. If there is a bounty on him, it is maybe a bounty that's been claimed and moved to private, or perhaps it's just a rumor. But yeah, you don't find anything on Grip actually having a bounty on him. Sadly.
I think I'm otherwise occupied in the engineering room trying to reprogram the R2 droid so that at least when it sings, it will be melodic.
Cute. I like that a lot. So, I mean, if you actually want to engage with that, why don't you give me another tech roll? This could go well with your tech of 9. I love that you're doing this.
Oh, no. It's definitely not melodic. It's 19.
A 19. Oh, man. So you realize the best way to get this astromech droid to behave is to stick a restraining bolt on it. That's really the only way to shut it up. It's up to you if you want to do that, but that just seems like if the research you're doing, playing around with this darn thing, that's the best way to hush it. So, do you want to stick a restraining bolt on the astromech droid?
Absolutely.
Awesome. The humming and the burbling quiets down, and it is much easier to take. Thank goodness the din is over. Success, Zop. Way to go. Now, Grip, how about you? How have you been enjoying Ariadu?
Yeah, Grip has been enjoying Ariadu. Grip, I think Grip has decided that he could use a little bit of a break after the last mission, and he tries to keep a relatively good, clean-cut image because he was raised by, his mom taught him well. So, you need to be a respectable young man. So he always takes that to heart, and he tries to keep a good, clean-cut image. But in his free time, he actually really digs going to casinos. He likes putting bets down on bantha races and things like that.
Ooh, bantha races? That is awesome. I really dig that. Cool. Well, you guys are all, we'll say that Lobar, you're coming back with a cool piece of tech. You pass by Cien, who is currently arguing for, like, he is trying to get Captain Isthmus to agree to pick up some kind of cargo for just a really short run. It's just really a short run, but like we can pull a little profit here. It's totally worth it. It's not like we have a mission and you're not doing anything anyway. You're just decoding things. I mean, you're just decoding things. You could do that. I could fly the ship and Grip is fine. He's in the casinos. Let's go. Let's do this. And he says, no, we are here on furlough. You will enjoy it. But I am enjoying it. I'll enjoy it more if we have a little extra credits under our name. It's not like we got any kind of bonus here. They just told us to take some time off. They don't really care where we are and what we're doing. Why don't we just do this? It's like one little cargo mission. And then Lobar, you pass by. and you see that Zop is just finished up with R2VO, and R2VO is very like quietly zips away, and then you receive a little bleep bleep incoming message. It is on the hyperspace protocol, so it's a kind of thing that would be relayed through, and you do see that it is a coded message, so you guys will need to use the actual comms relay on the ship itself to decode it. Otherwise, it would be garbled, which means that it is likely something that is coming from command. And so all you guys have received that notification. I think Grip, you've got a few like empty glasses and one half empty glass. As you're at a high stakes rolling table, would you receive a little comm unit? There's a message coming in back at the ship. So Grip, what do you do?
Oh, damn! I just put some money down on this race. Well, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm responsible. I'm a member of the rebellion, and I just say, well, that's the way it is, and I take my ticket and I tear it up and I throw it in the wind and I walk out the door.
Oh man,
Like,
that is as you walk out
lost
the
that
door.
money.
Yeah, you walk out the door, and of course the camera kind of hangs on it, and we'll say the dice like comes up right on the you bet on like black 16, and the dice come up on come exactly where you had bet you would have bet, and people are like, oh, or there's people grabbing all the chips and credits that you could have won, but you walked away from because you're a good rebellion soldier. So we do a quick Lucasian, like George Lucasian wipe, and all three of you are standing in front of the holo projector with Captain Ixmas as well as Cien. R2VO is off doing whatever. 41B is in the closet, and up comes the hologram of Leda Mothma, who is the early 20s daughter of Mon Mothma. She's taken on more and more responsibilities to help out with the Alliance to Restore the Republic, as she was kind of drawn into this because of her association with her mother, and she's grown in status. In fact, while she is effectively a non wait, I can't remember what the term is. Basically, she doesn't have an official rank. She's more a specialist, but she's still regarded as pretty good with coordinating missions. She's kind of a project manager, as it were. So she comes up and she immediately addresses Captain Ixmas first. Captain Ixmas and the crew of the Longshot, thank you all so much. I know that we have called upon you during the last days of your furlough, but a mission of great importance has dropped into our lab, and you are the closest Irregulars to respond. Reekeene did recommend you for this particular mission, and therefore it comes to you. With that, the hologram drops from her, and you come upon the picture of a ship. Now, the ship looks small, and I'm trying to pull up the picture of it. Cool. The ship itself looks very... it was obviously designed by the same firm that created the Star Destroyers because it has that triangular shape. However, when the schematics for it come up, you see that the scale of this thing is infinitesimally small compared to a Star Destroyer. It is obviously some kind of ship that will have a crew of 2 to 4 tops. And Leda Mothma explains, recently a scout ship was lost on the water world of Subari 5. That's on the Five Veils shipping route, not far from you. Subari 5 has only a few islands. Most of the planet is covered in water. Wild storms are known to be a major hazard for flights on this world. This particular scout ship was refueling at a starbase there while on its way to Lanik for a mission vital to the Alliance. Aboard this scout ship is an ancient artifact taken from a comet which visits the Subari solar system once every 200 standard years. It's believed that this artifact will give the Alliance a boost in technology that would be a huge advantage. Unfortunately, this ship went down during a horrendous planet-wide storm. Hurricane winds on this planet can ground all flights planet-wide for months at a time. Currently, there are no storms active according to our readings. The exact position of the downed scout ship is not known, but a beacon aboard the ship can be used to find its exact position. It is our belief that the Empire is also aware of this scout ship's arrival. We are investigating how it is that they found this information, but the movement of large amounts of Imperial vessels towards Subari 5 gives us the belief that we must act fast. I need a team willing to go to this water world and extract the artifact. It will require scuba equipment or a vac suit. The water levels where the ship went down are not expected to be particularly deep. We will provide you with a stipend to purchase scuba equipment, boats, and weapons on the planet when you arrive. You can land at the Hyperion terminal on the island of Doraxa. The island is approximately 10 nautical miles from the general area where the ship went down. She pauses and the ship pops up. I'll actually drop into our stuff and places a picture of the ship itself and the schematics that you guys were looking at in case you want it for future reference. But she comes back to Lady Mothma. She regards all of you and asks, "Are there any questions?"
So are we close enough that we'll be able to beat these Imperial ships, or should we expect them to be there waiting, searching when we arrive?
We expect that if you leave immediately, that you will most likely be ahead of any response vehicles that they are able to send. It is possible, though, that you may have to fight your way out. Now, if this turns out to be too dangerous, your lives are more important than this technology, you should leave. Make sure that you remain safe. And Ixmas makes a sound like he doesn't agree with her, but he doesn't say that out loud. You just kind of know Ixmas that he will not abandon a mission.
I think Zop's just sort of carelessly throws his death stick aside and climbs up into the turbo laser turret ready to go.
Nice. Okay, if you think of any other questions, please let me know. However, I must warn you that the Subari system, the amount of Imperial vessels that are moving there, they are most likely monitoring any communications coming in and out of that system. And then I will show you a quick little map, because I like maps, and sometimes other people do too, of it's a map. Anyway, cool. So this is, you guys are currently at Eriadu. As you can see, it's this nexus point of a bunch of things. And the 5 Veils route is here. I think I'm saying Subari, but it's probably Swarby. But there is the Swarby system, and Swarby 5 is one of the planets in that. So you guys will be basically slingshotting. You're going to head up to Charlissa, then zip across and come around to Swarby. We're looking at 2 days tops. And if R2VO calculates well, perhaps even shorter travel. Okay. Well, if there are no questions, Lady Mothma thanks you for your service. And then the communication ends. Captain Ixmas looks at all of you and says, "This is an entirely dangerous mission, but the artifact that has been retrieved is expected to help us to leapfrog our technology. It is important that we are successful in this mission. I trust all of you to put forth your best effort." His little eyes kind of trail over to where Zop has gone up into the turret. And if there are no questions, you guys will muster to stations, and in a very short amount of time, the long shot will receive permission to exit, and you guys leave the beautiful world of Eriadu and all the fun and pleasure of the casinos and the scrap.
Grip is going to be muttering a little bit about having to leave the casino early as he's in the cockpit punching buttons and you know, hitting all the things as a starship pilot does as they're taking off and preparing for making their way out.
Cool. You notice as you're checking all of, complaining, and you've got Sim right beside you as your co-pilot, checking all of the gadgets, the doodads, and you realize that you're a little heavy. Like, she's a little heavy. What do you do?
Sien, seems like we're a bit heavy. Do you have any idea what could be going on here?
The Celestin looks around like, no idea. No idea at all. She's space-worthy, right? It's fine. We're fine. He clicks a couple of buttons, tries to adjust things. What do you do?
Sien, this is a really important mission. It sounds like we could be flying out through the Imperial ships on our way out. Is there something you're not telling me? I mean, our lives could be on the line here.
Ooh, I think that you are trying to make a charisma appeal to him, a charismatic appeal.
Oh, is this my 9 charisma? I do get a advantage for communication, but I don't know if that. I don't think that's like necessarily what.
Let's do it. Why not? Go ahead and roll with advantage. I don't think you're going to do well anyway. But
all right, I'll have an 8 charisma with advantage. All right, let's see what happens. All right, so I grab 2 d20. I got a 6. One of them's under.
What? Again, he leans over and he says, "Don't tell Ixie, but I got a little extra stuff, and if we can dump this off at the planet, we're going to turn a little bit of a profit. It's not like this place is paying us well enough, and if you guys need to buy scuba stuff, look at the stipend that you got. You're not going to be able to get much good stuff, so help me out here, okay?"
So you're saying we're going to lose this as soon as we get to Sabari 5?
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. We'll get rid of it as soon as we get to Sabari 5.
All right, Cien. But I'm holding you to that. Don't let me down.
Righto. Way to go, Grip. Made the right choice here. Slaps your shoulder there as you're like taking off and going into space. Cool. So we do another wipe as you guys are in hyperspace. It's kind of like a scene of you guys in hyperspace. You got a little bit of time that takes place. So, and this is just like a free, easy thing. I doubt they would do this in Black Hack because you're not going to fight a monster yet. But I'm doing it because we're fucking story gamers and we have to do our things. So frame me up a scene that shows the kind of stuff that you do on a day to a day and a half long flight. By the way, it turns out it's like almost 2 days because R2VO is a little off his game. So, the programming of
can't imagine why.
The astronavigation calculations aren't great. Now, if somebody wants to try,
it's almost like the weight of the ship didn't quite fit in with the calculations.
Yes, that's it. That's totally it. It could be the ship weighs too much. It could be that something's wrong with R2VO. If somebody wants to step in with their tech and try to adjust the astronavigation coordinates, you can. Otherwise, it's going to take you guys a couple of days.
That's something I'm good at. That's one of my things. I can totally do some tech on the astromech. Or is that's actually Lobar? You're also good at that, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. How does that work
I'm
out?
also good at that, yes. I have advantage on any use roll and intimidation.
Okay. It looks like both Lobar and I would be good at that. So, but maybe I'll let Lobar do this if you're like into this scene.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So I think what you see is the Lobar sort of realizes that things aren't going quite as well as they should be. So I think what he'll do, it's the droid that's the issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he'll just try and sort of see what's going on. Oh wow, I've got really bad bandwidth. Okay.
We can hear you. You were just a little robot-y, but it wasn't like a Cylon. It wasn't too bad.
I'm going to switch to audio only just because.
Okay. Yeah, let's try that.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So I'll try and diagnose the problem on the droid.
Awesome. So let's have you roll a tech roll, which will be with intelligence.
Yep. And advantage. So I got 12, which is under the 13. So that's cool.
Nice. So the first thing that you realize is that the restraining bolt is doing its job, but R2VO is sulky.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing that you realize is that R2VO's noises, he thinks they sound nice. He considers himself a poet and a musician. So, and he is upset because the restraining bolt will not allow him to continue making his poetry music. So he's chosen non-optimal calculation parameters.
As a form of protest. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly that.
That's hilarious. Well, I'm going to make an executive decision here and just sort of remove the restraining bolt.
Cool.
Pop that off.
Yeah, you just pop that little bolt off, and you hear the whistling and the burbling starts again, and R2VO kind of zips around in a circle a couple of times, and then his little, protruding arm like dials in, and you see that he pulls up all the calculations and the readout on the computer, and he starts plugging in new adjustments to the nav game. When you overlook his shoulder, you look over the droid, you see, oh yeah, that's more efficient, that's going to save us some fuel, that'll increase in time and shave off. And if we if you slingshot off of a particular gravity well, you could save a lot of time, and you guys save your people at least half a day, which that every moment counts when trying to race against the Empire. Cool. Exactly. So that'll be our low bar scene. What about grip as you're flying? Maybe it's also could be a break when CN takes over. What kind of scene do we see from you during this day and a half travel?
Well, grip is. I think there's a moment where grip is feeling a little bit on the spot now that he knows CN brought this extra stuff, and he's going to pull CN aside and he's going to say, look, CN, I'm getting kind of worried now, right? Like, this has taken us a little bit longer to get where we're going. Thankfully, Lobar seems to have figured that out, right? But look, I feel like we're riding a tightrope here, and we're being weighed down by this stuff. Is there any way we can just jettison this? I mean, do we really need to take the time to sell this stuff?
Oh, I thought we had an agreement here, I thought you saw the light of us being able to pull a little extra credits to kind of make sure that we're properly, outfitted here. We're Irregulars. We got to make money on the side, Come on.
But CN, we're going to need you in this mission. We're going to need you to be focused on helping us get in and get out. And what if you're distracted selling this stuff when the rest of us are in trouble and need your help?
Wow, that is really applying the pressure. If Sulliston sweat, he would start to sweat. He says, if I dump this cargo, I'm going to lose 2,000 credits, man. Come on, I'm in on this. Help me out.
Why did you invest that much money in this cargo to begin with?
Ariadu's stuff is so good. Come back, come on. I'll show you the stuff. It's on autopilot. We're fine. Come on, come look at
All
the
right.
stuff
What is it? What did you get anyway?
So he takes you back and he pulls up a little data pad, and then he opens up there's like some crates that are kind of hidden behind some equipment that they normally have, as well as some of the junk that Lobar was working on reconditioning. And you see that basically it's like there's an entire container of this Primo death sticks, and then there's like a bunch of like Alderani ale, which Alderon's been destroyed, so this stuff is incredibly valuable, and it's like packed in these super foam type deals. It goes, look at this Alderani ale. We got these death sticks here. This is straight from. This is so
God.
good.
Is that real? I haven't had Alderani ale in years. Can we?
He pulls out a bottle and he hands it to you. Go for it, buddy.
I'm like, kind of looks around. He's like, all right. He makes sure nobody but CN sees him, and then he takes a little sip.
It's
yeah,
smooth.
Nothing else like it. Damn, CN. Okay, but look, can you at least get on the communicator as soon as we arrive? And like do you already have a connection? Do you know where you're going to offload this stuff? How long is this going to take?
3 connections. I'm trying to play them all against each other to get the best possible price.
Look, no. You're not going to get the best possible price, right? You're just going to get whatever's fastest. You're going to be happy if you come close to breaking even, right? We're just going to get rid of this stuff.
Grip. Oh.
You're just cutting your losses here. Promise me, CN.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I figure it's going to take us a little bit of time for you guys to kit up with some of your scuba stuff, and I can offload the stuff there. Is that good? There. It'll buy me maybe half an hour to make a connection, get the sail, offload it. Here's the deal, though, right? I don't think Lobar's going to care too much about this kind of stuff because I kind of moved his stuff out of the way, and I think I may have broken the hydrospanner connector. So, we need to make sure that Lobar doesn't know.
Wait, the hydrospanner connector. Wait, we don't have another hydrospanner? What if we need the hydrospanner connector? What if something goes wrong with the ship?
It's fine. The ship's in great working order. Lobar's really good at this stuff. And me, I can make anything sink. I used to work on Imperial starships. I know how to make this thing do its job without a hydrospanner connector. It's fine.
Rip's getting kind of red in the face.
People anyway.
And
he use your wrist. You're fine.
Rip puts down the bottle of Adriani ale, and he kind of grabs CN by his lapels a little bit, and he puts him up against the wall, and he says, look, CN, this is important. Our lives are on the line. Promise me you'll get rid of this stuff, and there's going to be no wasted time.
All right. That is definitely it's definitely a charisma roll to intimidate him to do exactly what you want versus tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
So let's see you do that.
So, okay. Am I pushing it too much to ask for my communications checks advantage?
Do it.
Let's see here. Oh, I got actually a 2 and a 7.
Holy crap. That's amazing. His little Celestin eyes get a little wide, and he goes, yeah, Grip, okay. My life's on the line too. I got you, okay? As soon as we get here, I offload the stuff. Just make sure the Lobar doesn't get pissed at me, because he's not any good on a mission if he if he's angry at me. He's got that whole thing with Wookiee rage, You don't really want to make a Wookiee mad. Okay? But yeah, as soon as we get there, I'll offload. Hey, tell you what, we're about to bounce off. I'm going to have to come out of hyperspace to do that thing. I'll send out a communication right now to tell them the price is secured. Tell them where to meet me, okay?
All right. Thank you, CN. He kind of straightens out CN's lapels a little bit and hits him on the shoulder and says, all right, let's do this. We're a team.
Thumbs up. Teamwork makes the dream work, Grip. And then he'll amble back towards the cockpit. Good. All right. So now Zop, where is it that we get to have a scene with Zop as you guys are traveling?
I think Zop is actually in the captain's cabin with Xmas, and they've pulled out this portable hollow Dejeric set. As Xmas is probably the only one who will play Dejeric with him. Dejeric is the hollow monster slammy thing that you see in A New Hope.
Yes, Star Wars. Yes.
And they're going back and forth, and actually, Zop doesn't play very well. Xmas is much better than him. But they're having a little conversation, and Zop is sort of playfully losing, but he's purposefully pointing out to Xmas continually how in like normal Earth chess, how he continually is exposing his king while the queen is taking advantage. His the co-pilot, the second in charge or whatever, seems to actually be the weak point in his game, and he's gently prodding Xmas that there's something going on, because I think there's a little flashback, and Zop is going to the cargo hold to perform his Rhodian hot yoga, and stumbles upon this case of Alderani ale and is like, "Oh, Sim."
So you're trying to indirectly tell Xmas to be.
I'm very subtly trying to let Xmas know that Sim does not is perhaps pulling something over his eyes. I don't know how well he's picking up on it.
Nice. I think this is communication with him. So let's have you roll a charisma to get your point across. If you're successful, you'll get it. And if you're not, he either doesn't get it or he totally calls you on it.
Fantastic. Here we go. Oh, no. He doesn't get it at all. I'm really, really high. This would be great if this was a rollover system. Yeah, that's a 17 on my 9 charisma.
Okay. So yeah, you're talking indirectly, and he says, well, of course, using the queen because they're most mobile is the wisest form of Dejeric. The king is only there as a pawn. If I were called upon to sacrifice myself so that the team could be victorious, I of course would do so. That is what we all will do in the end for the Alliance to restore the Republic.
I think at some point Zop becomes frustrated that he's not getting the point across in any subtle manner.
Xmas is basically Sam the Eagle, but as an Ithorian. Like that's my headcanon for Xmas. So we must all remain vigilant to restore the Republic. In fact, I should be at this very moment engaging in decoding hyperspace relay channels, but because I wish to restore your faith in our team and make sure that you are sated, I am here playing Dejeric with you. You understand the sacrifices that are made.
Oh. Yes, but is everyone sacrificing equally, Xmas?
We each give what is necessary at the time. Do you feel that someone is not pulling their weight?
I don't know. Your Ithorian ways they are different to my Rhodian mindset. The strongest should lead, but I see the wisdom in your leadership.
You are very kind. He's humorless, but he does that anyway. He laughs a little bit just to kind of create that camaraderie, and also because Rich likes to do the Ithorian laugh because it tickles me. More. Cool. And yeah, so Xmas is none the wiser on all of the terribleness that is being done by his second in command. And Zop is not willing to just out and out say it, but that's quite all right. We are sitting at 9 minutes till. let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll pick up at the hour. So we'll see you guys in that time, and we'll pick up on the water planet, Sabari 5.
Oh my God, Rich, that was great. That I came back and there on my screen was the Millennium Falcon cockpit. That was so beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So one of the things about Jitsi is that if the meeting, everybody turns off the cam and sound for too long, Jitsi ends the meeting automatically. So I share YouTube during longer breaks. I forgot to do it during our first little break, but yeah. Nice shirt there, Greg. Yeah, it's mighty nice.
I can't wait for the 2019 GauntletCon one. That looks really good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to 2019 GauntletCon. Are you guys going to be running stuff during GauntletCon?
I was originally planning to. I've lately my schedule has been really swamped, so I'm like been scaling back. But I would really like to. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope to get some time off from work and run the game that I've mostly at this point written for Codex Childhood. So hopefully,
Oh, there's a Codex issue. It's called Childhood.
Codex Childhood
That's awesome.
is the next one, and my game is about it's a Nickelodeon-esque kid game shows, and it's done in the style of Garrett's Tuk Tuk Racing. So
Oh, fun.
it's one of those things where, like, into the scoring, when you actually like look at kids' game shows, it's like, well, really, it all just comes down to the final thing, anyways.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it doesn't really matter. They just fill in the 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm hoping to do that sort of like Garrett did Tuk Tuk Racing last time, as just like in between games. Hey, for an hour, come do a silly kids show with me.
Nice.
That is really cool. I hope that you have the time to do that. And Walter, if you're taking requests, Dungeon World cartoon is like the greatest thing. I love that so hard. You really did a great job with that. I don't know if you want to keep doing the old thing, but like, god damn, that brings them to the art. That game is so good.
All right. Well, I was thinking about it, so all right. I think you're doing a good job talking me into it.
Yay for me! It's one of those where I'm like, I will juggle around other things to make sure there is space for me to do that. If I'm double booked and like I'm running a game while you're playing it, I will be like, no. I'll definitely be doing Star Wars Saturdays during the Saturday of the con. It's a thing. I think it has to happen. I just got to figure out what I'm gonna run. Maybe I'll run this droids hack of skeletons.
Oh yeah, that's
oh my god! What, like 1,000-year-old droids? That sounds ridiculously epic.
I've been writing that one too. It's the post Jabba's death on the sail barge. Jabba's palace is abandoned, right? Because Jabba's dead. And the overseer droid was also dead on the sail barge. So the droids that are left at Jabba's palace have to make their way through, just exist in Tatooine. And it's sort of they've all been wiped, but they're trying to remember what happened.
It's a cool idea. I really dig it. Yeah, that's possible. Now, one of the things, not that anyone like knows or cares that it matters, but it does to me. So like last GauntletCon, the game that I ran during GauntletCon was the kickover from doing stuff in the Empire Strikes Back timeline to things happening in Return of the Jedi. So I'm thinking, and this one scares me a little bit, but that I may use GauntletCon in October to bring to an end events that are transpiring at the same time as the original trilogy, and then things will start, like the games I run after that will start happening after the trilogy is over. I'm nervous about that because I feel like the game itself, like Star Wars Saturdays to me, is really welcoming because I can just say, you've seen the original trilogy in movies, that's all you need, right? And once we go into expanded universe and that bridge of time between the ending of Return and the beginning, of the sequels, it gets a little sketchy. And so I'm considering it, but I'm also a little worried about it because I just don't want people to say, well, I don't know anything about what happened after Return of the Jedi. God, I don't know. And like not want to play. But hopefully it'll just say Star Wars, don't worry about it. Finger wave and lightsabers. And hopefully that'll be good enough for folks. because that's generally what we do anyway. All right. So thank you guys. Let's spin it back up. Sorry, it took a long time there. I apologize. Let me look at my speaker stats. How bad am I? Like, it's probably bad. Oh, dear God. I'm dominating this game. Okay. Need to shut up a little bit. Greg, entertain me for a half hour. So I feel no. You guys land. So you guys come out of hyperspace. Oh, by the way, the little blurb that Leda Mothma gave you guys, the readout for the mission, I dropped that into the characters tab starting at Q2. So just the right of Grip Pulsar pilot picture there is just a thing in case you guys are like, I have no idea of all the words that were just thrown at me. That is something you can use to remind yourself. So you come out of hyperspace in the Sabari system, because there is literally that asteroid belt. There is an asteroid belt that means that just flying right up to Sabari 5 is not advised, but on your sublight engines, you can easily traverse the time in just a space of a couple hours. You do see that just out and on the perimeter, and Sabari 7, which is a gas giant, is not a Star Destroyer, but one of the Imperial, like, it's basically like a giant ship with huge listening devices on it. It's the kind of thing they plant in the middle of an area to check comm space beacons and listen to the holonet, and that is in place and is being, whoa, we have a few TIE fighters kind of flying around it like little bees buzzing around a nest. And you guys pass by that and throw off your transponder code when queried, but it's one of those light like things. No one's doing a direct, it's all indirect scanning of you guys. And as you come into Sabari 5, then you guys will need to come in, and we have a bit of you hitting a little bit of chop as you enter the atmosphere. It's a water planet. So some of the imagery, if you want to call upon in the prequels, if you guys remember the water planet where all the clones were being created, that's kind of the imagery that I have in my mind as you guys come down to one of the few islands, and that is where you guys can easily land. And we do the quick bit of you kind of landing and disembarking in order to pick up your stuff. So you guys have landed at the Hyperion terminal on the island of Doraxa, which is only 10 nautical miles from the area where the ship went down. When you land, or as you're coming in, you're able to get your telemetry and double check all of the weather forecasts. And you are informed by Cien that, hey guys, there's another storm that's building on the horizon. It may be here in an hour or so, so we really need to step it up. And there's a lot of Imperial communications that's coming through. So just be on the alert, okay, guys? And then you land and you head out. I don't want to have a shopping sequence. I mean, some players love that. We've got 50 minutes. So just give me a quick rundown, other than picking up some kind of suit that you can use for deep diving, a vac suit or a scuba suit, and a boat to get you out there, with the understanding that the long shot Cien can come and pick you guys up if need be. They're just trying to avoid attention. So the long shot will be docked here at the Hyperion terminal. Is there anything that in specifics you guys need or want to make sure you've kitted yourself out with?
I think Zop is going to pick up some thermite or some sort of way to get into the hull of this ship that's down there in case the airlock is not functional. And then he's just modified his spacesuit. Probably already has the modifications to do underwater stuff, because
totally
he's not leaving
does.
That behind.
Just need a face shield.
I would like to have just one really short image, rather, not like a scene, but just a little flashing image when we're checking out all the gear and the boats, and we're all kind of standing on the dock, and the boat guy's like, yeah, here's your standard boat, and Grip looks to the end of the dock where there's like the nice kind of speedboat that belongs to the owner, and he's like, "How much for that one?"
Nice. And then we cut to like some kind of remixed Miami Vice music going on, and you guys are like, "Phew, phew, phew, phew," over the waves and the storm crackling along the back, and you're racing ahead of the gray clouds to make your way towards the area where they intend they your information of where they are. Wow, I just like stammered all over the place there. I apologize. To the last known place of the scout ship. So what do you guys want to John Williams doing my advice? I'm all of that. Like Jan Hammer and John Williams like shaking hands and like maybe high-fiving each other, and they both are wearing like t-shirts with jackets on top, or like I went way too into that. I'm pulling back now. So we know, you guys know generally where the scout ship is within a click. What do you want to do to try to figure out exactly where that is? Do you want to dive down and search for it visually? Is there anything that you'd like to do while up here on the surface in your kick-ass speedboat?
I mean, there's no real evidence of this crash, right? There's no bubbles on the water. There's no.
Nope. This thing's been down for about 2 days. So
we just have a transponder signal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Who's driving? Is it Grip?
Oh, Grip.
Grip is driving, and is it just the two of us, or did we drag one of our?
Who do you want to drag with you?
Right?
Yeah, Lobar's with you. Lobar.
Oh, sorry, the three of us. Yes,
okay.
The three of us, and then
well, Cien is presumably has other things to do.
Yeah, Cien's otherwise busy, and I don't think Isthmus would have come with. So yeah, I think it's okay. So I think it's one of those like ridiculous high action movie diving things where Grip is getting us closer and closer, and then Lobar and I are in the back, and we just like dive off the back, and the camera plunges with us into the water.
Nice. All right. I am curious though, Lobar, what is your opinion of being wet?
Fucking hate it.
Good.
Fucking hate it, and I'm making it very known. And I'm testing.
I want the scene where, like, when like a woman with really long hair, it kind of like flows all over the place when she's diving. I want like Lobar to just like this like big poofy hair just kind of like floating all over the place as he's swimming around.
That part's fine. There's not an issue. It's afterwards when you reach a dry section and you've got this. Have you ever tried lifting like a suit made of hair that's wet? Get a wet woolly jumper or a sweater or something and put it in water and then lift it out. That's your entire body times by 20. It's not fun. And this is a bad idea. I hate this mission.
When Lobar gets out and he's all wet, does he do the dog shake?
Look at Lobar. He's so mad. It's the best.
No, he doesn't. He just lets it drip. This is what we're in for. We got to deal with it.
Sweet.
So I think Zop is scanning the underwater landscape, looking for the evidence of this crashed ship.
Awesome. I think you need to make a tech check. So give me an intelligence check.
Could that be an inquiry check?
Ooh, it is an inquiry check. Yeah,
okay.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay, advantage on that, and I might not totally screw up one of these rolls. All right. Let's see. Get rid of that, and then just roll 2. Hey, I didn't totally screw this one up. Okay.
Sweet. So, yeah, because we're in the binary of pass or fail, you are able to locate the ship. As you direct the other two, so I'm sorry, I keep coming back to this, but like, Lobar, are you in a bubble helmet and then just a bunch of fur, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the best way to do it.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
The best thing ever.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you guys swim along behind him, and the ship again looks like the schematics. When you first come down to it, it shows no visible signs of damage until you get close enough to the ship underwater to see that the port side has blast marks from a missile strike. And you realize that rather than having some kind of failure due to the storm, someone shot this ship out of the sky. So, the three of you continue down. Do you want to try to go in through an airlock, or are you actually going to try to swim in through the missile strike? Because there's a hole where you can maybe kind of wiggle in that way.
So, Grip, you're with us? Or
Yeah,
are you up on
it's
the
got to
surface?
be. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay, I guess we left the boat up above.
Well, I mean, if you want, Ixmas could be up
scuba
there
buoy.
on the boat if that's cool, because he would do it.
The R2 droid is just hooked in and doing circles.
Keeping around.
You guys want R2VO to be the ship pilot?
I'm down with that. I like
Okay,
R2VO
cool.
being
So
around.
he's awesome. So R2VO is just burbling along and doing lazy circles like he's taking someone on a cruise.
I like the idea of the three of us swimming in through the blast hole, just because that's like cinematically more spectacular.
Oh yeah, I totally love it. It's really cool. Sweet. So the three of you all swim through the blast hole, and you see that there's warped metal, and there's a bunch of frayed wires and the like. And it was obvious that this happened in air because there's a lot of blackened scar. And I imagine somebody has some kind of flashlight so you guys can see down here as you come in, because there's no power in this sector. Yes. Oh yeah, it's totally like
Totally sphere. Yeah, it's totally sphere with the
yes.
Yeah.
Love that. You guys have the little headlamp things, and I just realized that Lobar kind of looks like a fuzzy Mysterio, but that's just because I recently saw.
And of course, our helmets also have like the interior lighting, so that the camera can pick up our faces really well.
That's a great piece of tech that we've added in. Thank you very much for that suggestion. So you guys come in. This was this port side area. Evidently, it looked like it was some like crew quarters. And this is a small scout ship, so this is probably one of two sets of quarters. You can see that there's a warp piece of what was a bed. There's no data pad in here. Nothing other than a refresher. Sorry, that's the Star Wars term for it. Turlet. And then there's the warp door. It looks like it kind of buckled in. It would take someone very strong to be able to push that door down, I think. So what do you do?
I'm going to do the thing with my strength thing. And yeah.
All strength rolls from a Wookiee are made at advantage.
Yeah, they sure are. Okay, let's do that.
They're both successes, right?
Yes, they sure are. Because I got a 16 strength, yo.
That is dope. You are super strong. Yeah, you bend that thing like it's no more than that was a really cool book. No more than aluminum foil, and a lot of water comes rushing past you into this. It looks like that area was sealed. You're just so strong. You like pop the seal there, and so now the ship starts to flood with water, and you guys are walking through. Do you want to try to shove that door back closed again, or just leave it open because you guys are protected from?
I'm gonna say that we should probably just leave it open, to be honest.
Okay, cool. Then there's a lot of pressure and force from the water, but before long it's filling up the hallway, and you're kind of running along towards the cockpit and down into the cargo hold. As the three of you are making your way towards the cargo hold where the artifact would be kept, you see that there is a what you think is a stormtrooper, but he's all in blue because he is a sea trooper. As he steps from the cargo hold from all the noise and everything that's happened, and he has a blaster carbine, and it looks like he's going to shoot you. what do you do?
I'm gonna shoot him first.
Yes, I like shooting. This is Star Wars.
Yeah.
Cool. So, firing a blaster is a dexterity roll. And there is a challenge rating to this sea trooper, as well as the fact that you've got a lot of rushing water. So the challenge rating is a 2, which means that you're effectively adding a 2 to your die roll, but you're still trying to roll under your stat. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. So your challenge rating is 2. You need to roll underneath your dex. Your dex is an 11, so roll underneath an 11.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Oh no, that's not. Oh, that's 921.
Sweet. So you fire, and it glances off of his big, thick, kind of bluish shoulder pad there, but it does not appear to injure him at all. And then he's going to fire back at you. So let's go ahead and have you roll a d6. And that is the amount of damage from his blaster carbine coming back at you. You do have an armor value of 4, so you take 2 points of damage. Your hit points go from an 8 to a 6 as you are hit in the chest there from a nice stout kick from a mule that is the blaster carbine.
Dislike.
Rip, you come into the hallway to see that a fight is breaking out, water flooding into this place. Very soon you guys will be swimming, but you can currently use like mag boots to stand on the deck. And you see that there's a sea trooper here that's facing you guys off at the end of a hallway. He's probably 15 feet away. And it looks like there are other, there's someone else coming around the corner behind this guy to back him up.
So just to get the scene a little bit more. So we're going down the hallway toward the cargo hold. Does it look like they're emerging from the cargo hold?
Yes, it looks like they were already in the cargo hold.
Okay, that's not good. All right. So I could just fire my gun. I'd be pretty damn good at that. I should probably just fire my gun.
Okay.
But I am inclined to like look around and see if there's no. You know what? Yeah, let's just charge in. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do the. I'm gonna go whole hog into this one. I'm gonna start running down the corridor, doing the you know. How you can hear me underwater, nobody knows yet. But and I'm like gonna fire my blaster as I'm charging.
That's amazing. I love it.
I guess I'm like, it's gonna actually be this like plotting kind of slow-mo thing though, because I got the water resistance. So it's like trying to run in a swimming pool. I'm doing that thing, but I'm yelling like I'm running really fast.
He believes it.
All right, so let's see. I don't think I get advantage on this. Nope, only if it was in a starship.
Oh, but you're pretty dexterous, so I think you're going to be all right.
I got a good base. I'm going to go with that. All right, so. Oh, but I missed.
Wow. So you scream, you run, a couple of blaster bolts fly over him, and yeah, he's going to basically take cover now because you've intimidated him enough to say, wow, I'm just not going to stand in the middle of this hallway. I thought this would be easy. And he is going to start firing back your way, and you lose your balance. So you end up kind of slipping in the water. It just takes you away and rushes you forward a little bit. So you're sliding forward. Zop, you guys have engaged. You see there are now 2 sea troopers who are at the end of this hallway. One is down, like kneeling and firing, and the other one's come up and is taking aim above you. It looks like you may take a pot shot at Grip because Grip got pulled by the current.
Time for the professionals to do this. And so Zop is going to fire his carbine at the one that's taking cover.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be my first attack because I get 2 attacks.
Nice. Okay, so the challenge rating is still a 2.
Still a 2? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to... No, wait. There we go. Oh, shoot. I totally biffed that one. Yep. No, that didn't work.
Can't you burn some usage die on your armor for a thing?
Well, I can get a second attack. Yeah.
Okay. Well, just
but I wanted to use that because I'm imagining like one hand on the carbine, one hand doing this other thing.
Mhm.
It's an old bounty hunter weapon. It's like a sticky plastic shooter, and I want to like
Oh,
pin
fun.
the other one to one of the bulkheads because I want to know like if they already got it, we need to be able to find that out from one of them. We can't kill them both.
Okay.
So I'm gonna re-roll for that attack.
I think.
Oh god,
Oh, was that a 20?
that's a 20.
Wow. It
One of the
jammed.
worst rebels ever.
Yeah, it jammed. Like, it's not your fault. It jammed. What? I mean, the sticky stuff, the water, something happened. It jammed. Yeah. Okay. Now that's a usage die. So go ahead and roll your d20 on your usage die. If you roll a 1 on it, then it drops down to a d12.
Well, at least it was just a 5. I was about to be like,
There you
if I only roll low on this one thing, I'm gonna be ticked. All right.
Of course. That's exactly when you would roll a 1. Sweet. So they now we've got 2 sea troopers, and we're going to roll back around to our Wookiee. You see the grip is being sucked away by the current now towards the sea troopers, and they are trying to lay down some fire on you. What do you want to do, Lobar?
I want to charge ahead, and actually I'm going to get into a melee combat with them.
Oh God, this is scary.
Yes.
Because you are a Wookiee. They are nervous
Yes.
about this. They have heard.
It fucking should be.
Yeah, aren't you wounded or provoked?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, wounded or provoked. I may go into a blind rage. Oh.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
Fun. Okay, so with the Wookiee Rage, you have a Rage usage dice, which starts at D20. Each offense or time you take damage causes you to make a roll. I can choose make some rolls with disadvantage. You go into a Rage, you attack any and all around you with whatever is at hand. Takes control of your character while this. That's not as fun. Okay, I thought that was cooler than I thought it was, but it's not as cool. I'm not taking your character away from you, so you're angry. But we're not going to be going that crazy rage and ignore damage right now because you're fine. So let's just, if you're okay with that, we'll just have you go in with Arm Ripper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, geez. So yeah, you roll right up to the first sea trooper and grab hold of him. You put hands on him with your wet, stringy, hairy Wookiee body. Roll strength, and you get to roll with advantage.
Yep, both succeed.
Oh, nasty. Roll your damage.
Yeah.
Your damage die is a D10. You're proficient with your hands.
Marvelous. Oh, 10. Yeah.
Did you say a 10?
I said a 10, buddy.
Well, you've disarmed this guy with the Arm Ripper. Yeah, you grab hold. Is it a thing where you literally like rip the arm off, or do you think
Yes.
he's gone? Like this guy's.
Yep. I hold the arm and I push the rest of him out the way, and I try and whack the guy with the other thing. Yeah.
And then there's he falls down, like blood kind of gushing and washed away because it's PG-13, so we just see a little bit, and then the arm there he gets swept away by the current as well. That is terrifying. Grip, you are so dexterous that you may be able to pull off some kind of maneuver even while being swept away past the sea trooper. What do you do? Oh, you're muted.
Thanks. All right, so let's see. Okay, so there's still one sea trooper who was kind of just hidden that away. Is that right?
Yep. He just moved around, and he happened to be behind his buddy, so he's still alive because
he's behind the one who's lost him.
Yeah, like in Lobar's face.
All right, this is what I'm imagining is like, okay, so Grip is running down the hallway. He's firing at this guy who's ducking for cover, but he slips and he misses his shot. But Grip is like always in the flow, right? And he's just like, all right, I'm going with this. And he slips, but he like goes into this like slip and slide tuck. Yes. And he's gonna try and just like slide down the hallway and take out this other stormtrooper, just like, do a slide tackle right into his feet, take him out that way.
Okay, awesome. I really like the description of that. Let's stay in your dexterity, because it sounds like you're doing something incredibly dexterous and you're better at that. and go ahead and make that attack roll to unseat.
Oh, I missed again.
Oh man,
I'm missing all the easy rolls.
you throw that kick, but the water sweeps past you. This guy, he dodges out of the way because he just witnessed his buddy lose an arm, and so he steps out of the way, and you slide past him and slam into the bulkhead here in the cargo hold. As you do, you see that there's like a cargo, like there's a huge crate, and there are two other sea troopers who are lifting some slightly glowing, odd, ancient device out of that crate, and like they're trying to make off with it. And that's what you witness here. Evidently, they sent their two buddies to go take care of you guys while they beat feet out.
This is what I witnessed, crumpled up in a heap against the bulkhead.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and have you roll a d8, and that's the amount of damage that you took from the force of the water and everything like that.
A d8.
Yeah,
this is dangerous
hurt.
right now. I only have 7 hit points, so let's see what happens.
Oh no, please don't die.
Yeah, right. A 1. All right.
Okay, it's no problem because you
I
have
knew that
armor,
one.
so you don't even feel it. It just it's pressure. It's just yeah. So Zop, you just saw Lobar do what he does.
And I'm gonna try and hold that advantage. I pull my vibro rapier out. I stick it into the water, which instantly causes like this mist around me.
That's so cool. I love that.
And I'm just gonna point straight at the one aqua trooper that is left standing, and just be like, "You're next," and just start walking towards him with the vibro rapier down. I'm trying to intimidate him and get him to,
Yes, roll an intimidation, then roll advantage because that's what you're good at. That is awesome.
All right, let's see. Okay. Trying to get a stormtrooper to back down. This is
See, you guys start off with just the shooting, and then you fall into what you're good at, and now you're amazing. That's what I'm seeing, guy.
So what do you make intimidation with?
Oh,
because that affects this.
I think strength.
Okay, then yeah.
Like, to me, yeah.
Really, I guess it would have been successful. Yeah, as long as it wasn't wisdom, which wouldn't be. So okay, yeah, that's a success.
All right. With the success, he just saw his buddy get his arm ripped off. You have this like vibro rapier spray going on. He takes off and starts running like this. I don't get paid enough, and he's out. Like he's vamoosing. He is retreating from this fight. It is too much. Cool. So we roll back around to Lobar. You're toss the arm down, I assume, unless you really want to use it to club someone else with. You can do that too. And you see you're able to step into the cargo hold, which is nearly full, like it's over halfway full now. The water's like up near your shoulders. And you see the two sea troopers or aqua troopers have this device. It's on a pair of poles that they're using to kind of lift it. I'm imagining a little like Raiders of the Lost Ark style, like lifting it out of the crate type deal. And they have a evidently like they came in through the actual airlock. So that's where the other guy is going. He's like throwing up the airlock, but he's going to have some problem. The guy who's retreating, he's going to have some problems with that because of the weird pressure imbalance. So what do you do, Lobar?
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused. Could you just run that by me again?
Yes.
So I make sure I've got everything correctly.
So we had a hallway that you guys stepped into originally. A couple of sea troopers came up. You guys fought them and made your way down the hallway towards the cargo hold that sits in the back. You've now entered the cargo hold, which is filling up with water rapidly. It's about shoulder height for a Wookiee. There are two in the cargo hold is where the ancient device was, the MacGuffin. And there are two sea troopers who have like poles, and they're lifting it up and out of that crate to leave with it. But they're currently unarmed for the moment. There was a third sea trooper that was intimidated and was fighting you guys, but was intimidated by you and then by Zop. He has run past them and is now trying to open the airlock to get out of here.
Yeah. Okay. I think the best thing is to take care of this artifact quite easily. But how to do it? I could just shoot them. I could try and go through the water and just take it from them. I think that might be the best plan, actually. It's just to get up close again and rather than like trying to shoot it all, I'll just sort of start going in, and I'll probably try and swim up to them, actually, because it'll probably be faster than trying to wade through this like shoulder height water. It's quite a lot. So I'll try and swim up to them, and I'll sort of try and pull one of them under the water and take care of them that way.
Awesome. Give me a strength roll then. Make your way through the water. Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
With advantage.
Yes, sir.
Oh no! A 19 and a 20.
Wow.
That's frustrating.
Crap. Wow. So I think what happens is you come over to the one guy and you grab hold of him, and he drops, and of course the poles go down slowly, right? Because you guys now are in enough water where it's still being moved around a bunch. But he saw his buddy run away. Maybe they were communicating over in their helmets. So he is with his offhand had drawn a little blaster pistol, and he just fires and hits you right in the gut as you touch him.
Damn.
Yeah, so that is going to be painful, my friend. But it is just a blaster pistol. So if we look into some rules, a blaster pistol right in the gut is going to be straight damage. So you're going to be rolling a D8. So it's not any additive because he's using a blaster pistol, but he does do a D8 because there are no slotches.
This could potentially kill me. Is this subtract armor as well?
Yeah, you will subtract armor after, and you got an armor value of 4, so I think you're going to be all right.
I am fine here and taking no damage. However, I will roll for armor usage.
Exactly.
Roll the 1. Okay, lovely.
Okay, so then that doesn't. What was the? It just goes down. It steps down, so it goes from a D8 to a D6. Yeah. But it's still effective. It's still armor, and it's still going to save your bacon. But yeah, you get shot right in the gut, but he hits a piece of, I guess, the partial plate, like there's some kind of breastplate thing there. And he hits that, and you can tell that you're going to have to mend that later, but you don't die. You don't even take damage, right? Because it's an armor value of 4, and you rolled a 6.
I rolled a 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the 6-sided die. You rolled a 4. Cool. So then you're good to go. But that's the exchange that you guys just had. You're going to stay in that same kind of party order, as it were. Grip, you're right by these guys. You're right by the crate. You just saw Low Bar engage one of the guys. He's dropped the 2 poles. So now the artifact is tipping over, kind of coming towards you slowly in the water. What do you wish to do?
Yeah. So well, before I pick that up, I just want to mention that I forgot to do my armor usage die roll. I should probably do that quickly
let's flip back to it.
So I'll just do that quickly. So let's see. It's a 1 is the problem, right?
Yes.
What did I get? Did I? For some reason, my thing's not doing anything. Let me try again. Oh, I know why. I hit the wrong button. Okay, I got a 3. So my armor's still good. My blast.
Yep, your armor's still good. Yay! All right.
So I am. Can I do this? I'm like crumpled up. I'm kind of like, that. Okay, I think I'm okay. All right. Okay, nothing's broken. And then I look up, and I see like the artifact kind of like floating down toward the corner that I happen to be in, because nobody expected someone to just be like crumpled up in the corner, right?
Nope,
so the artifact's just like floating right to me, right?
Yes.
And I'm just like, I want to grab it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and grab it, and then maybe make a run for it if I can do all that.
Cool. Okay, so you realize as your hands wrap around this ancient device that maybe there was a reason that these sea troopers were using large poles to pick it up. And as soon as you touch the device, you feel it hum and vibrate, and you hear 1,000 voices speaking in your mind, but none of them are speaking basic. They're speaking ancient languages that have never been heard or spoken in thousands of years. So I need you to make a wisdom roll.
Oh, excellent. All right. Let's see. What was my wisdom? It's a 9. I got my baseline 9s. All right. I'm gonna make my wisdom roll. I did not make my wisdom roll.
And so it's overwhelming. You grab hold of the device and you end up kind of holding it. And all of these people, young, the old, males, females, they are all speaking to you, telling you their stories. And you just, it's overwhelming for a few moments. But you have the device, so good job. And now we'll go to Zop.
So what's the water level in this hallway?
The water level, so it was shoulder level for the Wookiee. So I think that it's like top of your head kind of thing, I would imagine. I'm just trying to imagine Rodian to...
Right. A little bit shorter. So what I want to do is I want to throw my vibro rapier down the hallway and try and pierce one of the Aqua Troopers. And then for my other attack, I want to use a grappling hook to grab it back and hit the other guy on the way out. That's the cinematic. Everything works out.
That is so good.
And is that Dex because it's a thrown weapon?
Yeah, it's totally Dex.
Okay. All right. Is there any disadvantage? Is there any challenge rating on that?
It's got to be a challenge rating. I mean,
okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'll go with a challenge rating of 2.
Okay.
That makes things pretty darn hard in this game. I'm going to clear dice so I can look at this one, okay?
Yeah, that works for me.
I've been getting confused a few times on which dice I'm supposed to be looking at. Now it is clear.
All right, here we go. Okay, that is a success for the first throw. And let me roll damage on that. That would be 1d8 plus 1. That's a 9.
Oh my god.
And then my additional grappling hook thing, we're gonna re-roll it. That's also a hit. And we'll re-roll the damage. That's a 6.
Wow. So what does it look like when you take out this other sea trooper?
So yeah, it's as described. I think it's really close to actually clipping Lobar, because Lobar's like right there on them, and it just kind of whizzes past Lobar's face. This like vibro here goes right through the stormtrooper's helmet, and as soon as it's there, it goes right back out and swings around the room and hits the other one. And I'm like, do we have it? Do we have the device?
Nice. And I think what we're going to do, because it's a 2-session thing, and hopefully you guys will all be able to make it back next week, is, and I didn't do a color thing, but like the ancient alien device is like this phosphorescent green. And so do we have the device? You look down and you see Grip's eyes open up and they turn this like phosphorescent green, and it's just a close shot on his face, as the shock on his face registering. As they hear the really cool sound lay-in of all the weird alien voices, and that will be the last moment of this particular session of Hack in the Black. So, as normal, we have a little bit of time here to do a bit of feedback, and so we'll do our Roses and Thorns feedback. And the other thing I'll just tell you guys, and you can take care of it now or at the beginning of next session, you all make a level. And so we get to do that while we're thinking about feedback. So if you give me a thorn, then you get to improve your stats. So the way that making a level works is that you go with a D20 and you roll a d20, and if you roll above any one of your stats, you roll one for each stat. If you go roll above your stat, it goes up by 1. And if you look at when you make a level, you each get 2 stats that you roll with advantage. And then you get another hit die. So you roll that with advantage as well. It's a bunch of die rolling, but it's kind of fun too. So, right, just like slobbered all over myself there. Got excited. Let's go first with thorns for Walter. Walter, what system thorns or presentation thorns, anything, critique, feedback, missed opportunities that you had from playing Hack in the Black with us today?
Yeah, I mean, the game itself was a blast, so it's pretty hard to come up with a thorn. Something that does come to mind is, yeah, some of the tables and stuff for like what armors do you actually, what's the armor rating and blaster rating was not totally clear. I mean, it got cleared up during the game, so kudos to you for that. But that's like the one thing. Yeah, it's easier for me to come up with roses. I'll have a few of those.
All right. Well, thank you for those thorns, Walter. You now can jump onto the roll for your party if you want to, and you get to roll d20s for each of your stats. I just go down the line, and don't forget that as a specialist, you roll twice for strength and dexterity.
So that means strength and dex could potentially go up by 2 if I'm lucky?
No, I'm sorry. You roll twice as in you roll with advantage.
Just with advantage,
that's
okay.
the conflict phrase. It should be you roll with advantage for strength and dex. I'll adjust that. That's a really good question. Cool. Greg, what thorns did you have?
And Tom, feel free to join in here with your own feelings on this, but I feel that the Wookiee class kind of gets robbed of another feat because that Wookiee rage is mechanically not that interesting.
It's dumb. It's rubbish.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize how crappy it was until I read it aloud. I just saw Wiki Rage, got excited, moved on. So
right, yeah.
Let's fix it for next time.
Tom. And then my only other thorn is the armor system is kind of strange.
It's a little clunky.
It is a little clunky, and honestly, like having 6 armor makes you darn near invincible, at least for most blasters. Unless you get downgraded, and I have a fairly high usage die, which hey, I like having my character be a badass, and maybe it didn't always work out for low bar, but I might purposely nerf myself a little bit on that because it's just more interesting to have a little more risk. Yeah.
Well, thank you, and I think that's really valid feedback. It's
well, I think they changed the armor system between Black Hack 1 and Black Hack 2 because people were so, and there was also like not related to this, but the sleep spell apparently like totally breaks Black Hack original. Like if you make a monster go to sleep, you just win.
Isn't that the way it's supposed to be? Well, now I got to go reread. I didn't know they updated the armor, so I'll double check that with me.
I have a question about how they you said we get to roll extra hit points as well, something like that, or an extra hit die. How does that affect our max? So do we like roll and then our max goes up, and like we maybe add that to our current base?
That's a really good question. So your hit points max was the base of the die type +4. When you roll, your current hit points go up as well as your max hit points go up for the amount that you roll. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay, excellent.
And it's with advantage, so if you roll a 1, hopefully the other die is a little not 1, a little better.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that because I did roll a 1.
Okay, good. I'm glad I checked. So Greg, you may now make all the die rollings for your statistical increases. And so let's ask Tom for thorns. What thorns did you have from this game, buddy?
So I totally agree with all of the stuff that Greg was saying. Particularly like Wookiee Rage is just not that interesting. It's actually like I don't really see the function of it at all. I would take it one step further from like it kind of sucks to it doesn't do anything. Like
I think it's supposed to be a berserker rage that like you can go into if you're almost out of hit points, and it just gives you these ghost hit points to keep fighting on. But I still think that sucks. We'll
Yeah.
replace it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I found that there were, like we found pretty early on there was a couple of things missing. I think missing from the like weapon tables for like the hack wars rules with no thermal detonators, no like heavy weaponry either, from what I can tell.
Okay, that's good.
And yet the armor system, yeah, it is a little overpowered for sure. I was also a little confused about, like, given the armor system, it would make more sense for there to be like some higher damage rolls incoming, so to speak, and like, I mean, but we also have very low hit points to start with. I suppose
Right.
it's because we're level 1, and that's what Black Hack does, I think, from what I can tell. But yeah, just a few little like number value things sending different signals out into the story, which is a bit odd. But anyway,
That's really good.
Really-
I want to reevaluate that. I'll have a little bit more time this week before the next session, and maybe we'll tweak those values just a little bit. And definitely going to fix Wookiee Rage. Anything else, Tom?
oh, actually, yes. Healing items. Completely forgot anything about healing items. I've never let that go in like a fantasy game. But this, I'm like, what, do you carry like 20 Bacta tanks with you or something, or what?
Oh, that's where you pull 41B out of the closet. That's a good point. Having a med kit would be a really good piece of equipment to have. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I now have my to-do list for things to tweak and improve on this. This is very helpful, guys. You may now, Tom, roll to increase all of your Wookiees' stats. And Walter, have you finished up? Are you ready to talk about roses? You're unmuted, by the way, Walter.
Yeah, there we go. All right, I was trying to get my mute button, and then my mute button kept like moving, which is that's another issue. But I'm back now, and I'm so excited because I rolled my dex went up to 16. Oh my god, which is amazing considering what a klutz I was this episode. Maybe I can redeem myself next episode. We will see.
Wait, your wisdom and
roses.
charisma didn't go up? Neither wisdom nor charisma went up?
Oh, I haven't finished those yet. I have to.
Okay.
I only rolled my first 3. I'm still. I'll skip to my last 3 after the roses.
Okay.
Let's see. So, and I have enough hit points that I'm not like a frail, D&D first level magic user anymore.
Yeah, look at those hit points. That's pretty slick.
Let's see. So, roses. Oh my god. The scenes were great. I was so loving the scenes around Cien Sim. That was some beautiful little flavor. I thought the pacing was phenomenal. I love how we got like really interesting scenes and things just moved along, and we got great flavor. The combat was awesome. The bounty hunter and the Wookiee were so bounty hunter and Wookiee. So good. And the scene with the chess between Zop and Ixtmas was really excellent. And then of course like Lobar and VR. What is his name? VR R2VO. R2VO is that was delightful. I'm a big fan of R2VO. R2VO. I'll get his name. I probably won't get his name correct once the entire.
It's quite all right.
That's just the way it is. Those are my roses.
Thank you so much, Walter. Greg, what roses did you have?
A rose to you, Rich, for skipping the shopping scene. Thank you. There are mechanics in there for it, and I was like, oh, I don't really like the usage die on our coin, and like, oh my god. It's just a great alighting of time there. I love Grip slip sliding himself to glory there. That was excellent, Walter. It's just a series of failed rolls, but you're like, wait, isn't that thing like floating in the water now? I just grab it. And then of course it's full of some sort of, Star Wars Cthulhu. And then, yeah, I love Lobar getting that Wookiee arm rip in, because I was sort of like I don't want to just the next round just be like, I shoot at him again because I totally miffed the last time, and Lobar ripping his arms off. I'm like, oh yeah, press that advantage. That guy's got to be terrified, right? I'm just gonna point at him and be like, you better get off this ship. So it was inspirational for my turn. Thank you.
Yay for arm ripping. Ah, that was great. Tom, what roses did you have from the game?
Oh yeah, I love the tone. Just in general, the tone of this game was very, very good. Sort of carefree in a way that I really liked, and it was just. I think in general, this is really good. This was just a great session, even despite the fact that I fell asleep halfway through. That's my bad, not yours. Almost. Anyway, roses. I agree with what everyone else has said, but I'm going to add that the combat was actually really nice and snappy. And I liked that. That was really good, because sometimes with a new system, things can get bogged down in the details, and you're like, what do we do here? But no, you just sort of choose. It's deliberately vague, and I certainly it really helped a lot, for me at least. So that was good.
Good. Thanks, Tom. I have a few roses to hand out, and then we will close out, unless people need to stick around to finish up characters advancement. But rose to Walter for always coming up with creative ways to engage in the combat that was just delightful. It was never, I'm going to shoot again. It was always creative swashbuckling, right? Like the Star Wars heart is at being a little bit of a swashbuckler. And I love that you were dipping into some of the things we know from Star Wars and still reacting in the environment. I like that a lot. Greg, playing Zop as a badass was just butter, man. He was so cool. And the rapier move, I mean, a lot of our story games, that's not necessarily a thing I would like see, you'd be more like, would be angsting a little bit or something, but like get into a game that's a little more OSR-y. We could pull off these crazy maneuvers that I absolutely like. That was a straight out of Star Wars, maybe like Star Wars on HBO Max, but like super Star Wars, and I really loved it. And Tom, I appreciate your good nature with low bar and the fact that you got gimped on Wookiee Rage. You were totally cool about it, and you being game and okay with the fact that I probably should have cured that ahead of time is super appreciated. I also liked low bar a lot. I love the way that you portrayed and some of the stuff about the hating the water. That was a highlight for me. Like that was super highlight. Like you describing exactly why it is the worst thing ever was so good. So good. So I had a great time. I'm glad that you guys jumped in feet first to this, and I look forward to next week when we get to see what happens at the end. So thank you guys so much. Tom, get some sleep, man. It's so late. It's so late. You are such a trooper. All right, cool. I'm going to stop the stream. Thank you guys so much.